Welcome back everyone to yet another episode of Democracy 3. I guess I shouldn't say yet quite yet because we are still just starting. But still, welcome back. So, I do not know exactly what I want to do right now, but there is one thing I should show you guys that I didn't actually get to last episode. That is your cabinet. Now, this is a somewhat important part of the game. You can hire cabinet members and they sympathize with certain groups of people in the country. Now, in order to keep them loyal, you have to keep the people that they support loyal or happy. Now, this can be very tricky because you can end up with people that end up sympathizing with people that you just are never going to get along with. Like this guy, I probably will have some big issues with him as time goes on because he sympathizes with conservatives and I don't sympathize with conservatives all that much. She's gonna become pretty damn good. Well, she's not any of the desired jobs that she actually... Oh, no, wait, she's in economy. Never mind. This person, they're not gonna last in this cabinet. Now, you can fire individual people, but that is inefficient, and it makes everyone else around them kind of upset. So, I feel the best thing to do, reshuffle the entire cabinet immediately. Something you should probably do on your first turn, by the way. I just kind of forgot to do it last time. And then you go in here and you hire people based on what you kind of want to turn out. Stop whispering! Yeah, it worked. I didn't expect that to actually work. Okay, so we're looking for a new minister for foreign policy, and we want to get someone who wants to be in foreign policy that kind of goes with us. And Glenda Cook, I'm sorry that you got fired for a brief moment there, but you are back in your position because we need you. Now, welfare. Let's see. Youth and capitalists. Yeah, capitalists, they might have a love-hate relationship with me. The youth, they will also have kind of love-hate relationship. Probably best to avoid her. Let's see, what else can we find here? Religious and capitalists, never gonna work out. Let's see, welfare, you got welfare. Conservatives, not gonna work. Let's see, other welfare jobs. Welfare, we're looking for welfare. So you are for welfare. State employees and environmentalists, you will definitely go good here. Let's see, what else do we have? Socialists and trade unionists. That's not too bad. I might actually put you in the law and order area. Let's see, liberals and parents. Just got much more capital or political power. Yep, we'll go with you. Okay, so now, economy. Let's see. Pretty much anyone who is a conservative or religious is automatically never going to get a job in my cabinet. It's because most of my views will completely alienate the religious and the capitalists and the conservatives. Remember, if you don't like people who lean more towards socialism and liberalism, don't watch these videos. Oh boy. I don't mean to alienate any people that would watch these videos, it's just... you probably won't like what I have to say on things, and I hold no fantasy on me being able to persuade anyone. Let's see, we don't really have very many people that are good for the economy stuff. And you are probably the best choice to be in any of my cabinet positions. So, you're hired. Now we need the Chancellor, which is all tax stuff. This is another one that's a little bit difficult to actually get someone who's not conservative or religious or capitalist. Let's see. Environmentalist capitalist, conservative trade unionist. Any more tax? Your tax, trade unionist, and socialist. There we go. And now a public services minister. Let's see, there was someone down here that I thought was going to be a very good one. Nope, maybe I picked them for something else already. Ooh, that doesn't give us very many good options then. Conservative environmentalists. Ah, man. I guess I'm gonna have to go with you. You're probably gonna... Are you a twin of this guy? Bryant Young. You guys must be related. You look exactly the same, just like a mirror. Anyway, Law and Order. There was one person down here that I was gonna go with. Law and Order... I think... The other one is Transport. Okay, so we'll go with you for Law and Order, and you, this other guy, Curtis, you're going to be my Transport guy. There we go. So now we're getting pretty much the exact same amount of capital. Actually, we might be getting just a little bit more, but as time goes on, these guys are going to get more experience, and therefore they're going to be able to give you more capital. And as long as they are sympathetic with the people that you generally make happy, they will gain more experience, stay more loyal, and eventually become good at their job. Give you even more capital so you can do more policies and make more good things happen. And if you're good enough, you might get to a point where you're pretty much in a utopia and never have to worry about anything again. Okay, so let's see, what were we going to work on? We do need to increase our GDP, and a good way of doing that is to get rid of this organized crime, because it does cost us, you know, $250 million a term. Let's see. I think there is a policy that really helps with the organized crime thing that most everyone agrees is a good idea, and that's a witness protection program. And it's not really that expensive of a policy either. Of a policy. It also helps cut down violent crime, which is a very good thing. And we will spend quite a bit on this, but it is definitely worth it. Let's see, we have 15 more capital to go with. Let's take a look at our GDP. It did take a drop from last term, even though we cut our deficit a bit. Let's see, international trade. That's actually it's actually a very good one. And from what I remember, so import tariffs, I think that cuts it down your international trade. Let's look at this. Consumer rights. Trade Council, that's the one I was thinking of. This one increases your international trade a bit, so it should directly affect our GDP, and I'm willing to put a lot of money towards improving our international trade, and it also benefits our foreign relations. So let's apply that, and then we'll use this to go look at our international trade, and in 8 turns it will give us a 3.57 boost to our international trade. And as a result, we will get a slight boost to our GDP. It also will boost our air travel a bit, which kind of is a negative towards the environment, I think it is. Yeah, it's a negative towards the environment and rail usage. Okay, I still have quite a bit of capital left, and I do not want to... I don't want to give us a huge amount of expenditure. Let's see... I can't raise any taxes on that. Property tax, that would just kind of piss everyone off. Income tax, that's kind of high income tax. I could raise the alcohol tax again, but we will hold off on that for a couple terms because I don't want to like jump in and just go, alcohol's evil, everyone must stop drinking it. Pay me money. It's kind of a dick move to do. Inheritance tax, no. Let's see. Jury trial, that's fine. I can increase the community policing by $1 billion. That actually costs no capital to raise. Revert that. We'll leave it as is for now. Still outlawed. I just implemented that. Let's see. Let's take a look at new policies. What about taxes? Sex education? Upgrade this completely because... Okay, sex education is important. And this particular branch I despise. Abstinence-only teaching only has resulted in people getting pregnant more frequently. Basic, that is... You might as well just take kids out to a farm and say, this is how babies are made. And it will teach them pretty much nothing. Comprehensive, that's a good step. It's important for kids to know. And I'm not sure what explicit is, but I'm assuming it's like, this is everything about sex that's ever been thought up ever. And I'm more for that than I am for abstinence. So yeah, let's go with that. It also cuts down on parent membership. And I think the reason that it does that is because you got less teenagers getting pregnant, so there's less teen parents. So we'll go with that. Yes! And that only leaves us with 6 capital, so we're gonna just move on to the next quarter. Crime has increased? What? How has it increased? I make it so that there's witness protection program and crime increases. That doesn't make any sense. Our GDP also has dropped, which sucks. Let's see, appoint a UN ambassador. Our ambassador to the UN retires this year, and we need to name a successor as soon as possible. Much will be made of whether we appoint a hardliner who sticks up for the country, or someone more able to compromise. Okay, so we can appoint Regina Phillips, who is a well-known patriot who will fight tooth and claw to get our interests represented at the UN. Seen as a popular choice among patriotic and more conservative citizens, she is historically against foreign aid and a supporter of import tariffs. She is not popular internationally. Okay, appoint Steve Harris, who is a popular figure on the international stage with a reputation for solving difficult problems through compromise and understanding. A true internationalist, he is popular with the liberals and socialists in our society as well as foreign leaders. Okay, I'd say a good example of why you should be more willing to compromise than fight tooth and claw would be the Republican Party of the United States. Oops. As you see with the Republican Party, they are very much against compromising on anything at all. And they are rapidly losing support and pretty much being turned into just like a group of tribes instead of a party. Because they all have their own individual interests within a party that has over an umbrella sort of interest kind of thing. And they don't agree on anything themselves. let's go with Steve Harris, because compromise is the way of the future. Alright, next turn. Our expenditure has increased, which does suck, but I am willing to keep on making our expenditure increase ever so slightly to make things more beneficial. Now let's see, there is a few very touchy things that we can cover, like abortion laws. Right now, I'm not going to touch this at all because I can view either way. A total ban of abortion, I don't agree with that at all. And the reason why is because there are life-threatening circumstances where neither the mother or child will survive the childbirth, and therefore you would pretty much be responsible for 2 people dying instead of a not quite person dying and a person living. Then there's life-threatened, which is a step in the right direction, I guess. But yeah. Then there's limited circumstances, which, you know, that one is, yeah, it's okay, it's middle ground. It's not like hand out coupons for a 10% discount at an abortion clinic in the weekly shopper kind of thing. And it kind of makes people try to be more responsible towards sex. And there's a 2-doctor approval thing, which I don't really think that this is quite... I don't think this is really quite a more liberal kind of approach, because it kind of puts it in the hands of the doctors still on whether or not it is a yes or no. Because you can end up with a doctor who's like, no, abortions can never happen, and like shuts down any chance of people getting an approval. So I'm not touching this one. Ever, most likely. Let's see. Oh yeah, we were going to legalize prostitution. Because it is a good thing. Now, this is going to piss off a lot of people. Parents are going to be upset because I have no idea. It's not like kids can go and visit the prostitution houses themselves. I'm assuming it's because conservatives are like, it's the fall of the family and things like that. When it's not really. I mean, come on. And the religious are like, sex, that is evil. You must burn in hell because sex. Seriously, have you heard how much of the religious focus on sex? Organized crime, however, does take a hit because they are no longer the only ones that are able to provide prostitution. So, yeah, it's a good thing. It's going to cut down our organized crime, and we're going to allow, like a brothel to be in every single town, no matter the population size, because why not? There really isn't any indicator of... Okay, why is there a none option? Prostitution is illegal, but there is none of it. What? But we're gonna go all out. That leaves us with only 8 capital, and we can't really do much with that, so let's move on to the next turn. And we now have a new epidemic. There's a stress there's a stress epidemic, and I don't really know how to handle that. We are losing a lot of money still. A lot more than I want. Vigilante mobs have shown up. I'm not sure what's causing that, but that's because crime is relatively high. I suppose the smart thing to do would be to increase the police force, but we're gonna... Let's see. Witness protection program is slowly cutting down organized crime, which is good. And once organized crime goes down, it'll start cutting out of crime itself. So let's see, another way to cut down on organized crime, legalizing cannabis. There is literally no reason for marijuana to be illegal. It does similar things to your brain as alcohol, but it is less damaging to your entire body than alcohol is. Plus, there is indication that you can develop an immunity to the effects that cannabis has on your brain. So yes, cannabis definitely should be legal. And thankfully Colorado and Washington are on the right track of having it legalized. Well, they have it legalized now. Okay. Only 7 capital left. Let's move on to the next quarter. And I think that'll be the last one. Ah, here's a good controversial one. Gay people in the military. This is part of the mod that adds the more options about LGBTQ right stuff. A lieutenant in our armed forces has just been discharged after it emerged he was gay, provoking criticism from liberal groups. We need to make clear our position on this issue. Should gay people be allowed to openly serve in the military? We can either say, yes, we should welcome and respect any person who is willing to risk their lives in service of their country. A person's sexual orientation doesn't affect their ability to wear a uniform, wield a gun, or act with valor. There is simply no basis on which they should be barred from service. Or, no, the concern surrounding the issue is less about the individual's ability than it is about the impact on unit cohesiveness. Soldiers must live, sleep, and shower together, often in cramped conditions and for long periods. Allowing openly gay soldiers to serve with them will damage the overall unit's ability to work together under such conditions, and ultimately damage our military's effectiveness. Honestly, this is bullshit. The only people that really get touchy about being near gay people are bigots and conservatives and the religious. Most of the world, in civilized societies that is, most people in civilized societies honestly probably don't give a crap one way or the other about your orientation. And it is likely even less so in places that encourage strong team bonds and stuff. Working together, being one, working to the same goal. I mean, think about it. We've had issues like this in the past, especially when it came to race. People were not really that long ago in our history, people were like, black people shouldn't be in the military because they are not our countrymen. They are just like animals and such. And now we have black people that are in pretty high positions in the military. Did our military suffer? Did our military suffer like a damage in the unit cohesiveness or whatever? Maybe for a short time, until people got over the whole being a racist thing. So yes, gay people should serve in the military. Our deficit has dropped a bit, so that's good. And we'll do one more turn and I will cut the episode. Let's see. This is one of the best things to cut out vigilante mobs, but I'm not so sure on it. Let's look at our prisons. I can double the funding for prisons and make pretty much everyone happy, cut down on unemployment, and cut down on crime. It will increase our deficit a bit, but it is for a good cause. That being, we are going to eliminate crime. Okay. So I put it into motion. There's nothing I can do about it. Let's see. How about same-sex recognition? Now what's funny here is that you can completely ban all same-sex relationships, and that will increase crime. Let's see. I don't really want to piss off the religious quite yet, so we're going to hold off on this for a bit. I will increase it to where we can have same-sex recognition completely maxed out. That will be increased. But for now, it's going to have to kind of sit on the back burner. There's also creationism versus evolution. That's really going to upset religious people, but I want to make sure that the religious membership is kind of reduced a bit. Right now, they're moderately unhappy with me because, well, I implement more things that piss them off than make them happy. Let's see, we need to increase our money. I'm one political power short of that. Oh, I know. Now that we have cannabis legalized, we can implement a recreational drug tax. It's not popular, but I'm going to leave it at a medium level because it does increase poverty a bit. It also cuts down illegal drug consumption. So let's apply that. And there's also brothels now, so to be fair, we will tax that too, at a medium rate. Okay. That's only 10 political powers left. Oh, political capital. Either way. Let's move on. Now let's see what happened as a result. Oh, poverty's increased. Great! We've also cut our deficit down by another 3 billion. So good! 39% of people want to be voting for me next election, which is good. I'm hoping to get this well above 50 before the next election, because if I don't, then things can go quite horribly wrong. Let's see, curb banking bonus. There have been calls in the media for government to do something about the big bonus payments being made to company CEOs despite falling profits. In cases where companies have failed to make a profit, the government has been asked to force companies to withhold bonus payments from top executives. Aha! This is something that kind of makes sense to me. Let's see, restrict bonuses. For too long, the bonus culture among CEOs has been left to run out of control. Bonuses are supposed to be a reward for business success, but top bank executives are taking unearned bonuses whilst cutting staff members. We need a law that prevents companies from paying a bonus in years where they failed to turn a profit. Or do nothing. It's easy to be critical of people earning large salaries and bonuses, but the fact is, we live in a globalized world and top bonuses are needed to attract top talent. This is unnecessary interference by government in the corporate pay structure and will hurt our competitiveness. Okay, it probably will hurt our competitiveness in the short term, but what will hurt competitiveness even more? Taking a small... not getting a bonus for a year, or continuing to take bonuses until you cannot even afford to have your company because you have run it into the ground while drying up all of its funding. We're going to restrict bonuses. It's probably going to have a few negatives, but I'm willing to deal with that. Okay, so that's an episode. I hope you guys are enjoying so far. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and fave. If you have any criticisms of my political views, I would love to hear them and possibly debate them. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and fave, and I will see you next time. Take care, and goodbye.